Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Yudo 1 from Avataro Sentai DonBrothers. So if we go ahead and open the box here, we take a quick look at the case breakdown. Let me angle the camera up here ever so slightly. So as you can see, we do get one duplicate set here for Don Momotaro, but then of course we have two boxes each for Don Momotaro, Oni Sister, Saru Brother, Kiji Brother, and then we have one box for Inu Brother and one box for Zen Kaiser Black. So we take a quick look at these boxes here. You can see we get basically the top half in one box and the bottom half in another box. Taking a look at the back here, just kind of shows you the lineup. And you can see that there is a ton of accessories. They all come with Inu Brother. We go ahead and pull his box out here. Because he's such a smaller figure, they put all the extra accessories in with him. So if you bought all the Change Hero figures, this would be one good box to get if you're just looking for the accessories and you don't want to get everything else. But there are going to be some significant differences. Obviously, there'll be more detailing because we have stickers here. But also, there's more articulation for Inu Brother, and I believe the wings, at least, are different for Kiji Brother. Let's go ahead and take a look. So it looks like he comes with a version of the wings just kind of down, but then also comes with a version of the wings splayed out to the side. So that's pretty cool. And we'll take a look at Zen Kaiser Black here. I didn't bother to get the Change Hero figure for him because I knew I was getting this. But there's a lot packed into this little box. And then real quick, we'll take a look at Saru Brother and Oni Sister. So I'm excited to take a look at these. Obviously, it's going to take me some time to put them together and get them all stickered up. And then we'll also take a look. We'll do some comparisons with the Change Hero figures as well. So I'm going to go ahead, get these all put together and stickered up, and then we'll take a closer look. So here is Yudo 1 for Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, all stickered up and fully assembled. And they look really good together. I think these all really came out great. It's kind of nice having certain members of the team be taller and shorter because it kind of lets you put them in a group pose a little bit easier without covering everybody up. And then you have Zen Kaiser Black just kind of chilling over here on the side because he kind of comes and goes as he wants and doesn't really appear in much of the show. Spoilers, I guess. But yeah, these look really good. I'm going to go through them one by one so I can compare them to their Change Heroes counterpart. So we'll go ahead and start with Don Momotaro. Here is Don Momotaro. I think he came out pretty well. So paint-wise, the silver on the head is paint, and then you put a black sticker on top of that for the sunglasses. The front on the chest here is paint, so the white kind of collar and line that goes down, as well as the black. The belt, I think, is just made out of a black piece of plastic, so that's not really paint. A little bit of silver here on the kneecaps and on the elbows. And then a little bit, I think the front white trim of the shoulder is paint. Everything else is stickers. So there are a decent amount of stickers for this set. I will say the four main members of the team, and by that I mean the four not including Inu Brother, didn't have so many stickers. They weren't too bad. It's mostly like the rings around the forearms and the legs down here. But then you do have like the front of the belt is a sticker. This piece here on the legs. Obviously all the weapons. And then the helmet. I would say the helmet's not too bad as far as stickers, but you have the pink peach here on the front, which is of course a sticker. The glasses are a sticker. You have the white on the sides. You have the rest of the band going around. The band around the like top knot section was kind of difficult. The back of the collar, the back of the shoulders. I think this is one big sticker here, the whole bottom like skirt section, and then of course the part on the legs. So there are a decent amount of stickers, but honestly, he came out pretty good. I think the Zanglass sword looks pretty good. Nice job there. And then you get 5 Dawn Blasters, and each one, I think, is maybe 4 stickers total. There's this section of the front, this section of the back. The sunglass piece is one piece that wraps around the whole top onto the back there. And then the wheel and the gear are one sticker that is all in that section there. So you have to do several of those. They come with Inu Brother. That's why I feel like he was challenging. It was just everything that was in his box, because he came with all the weapons, and then he himself had a decent amount of stickers. But yeah, when you're all done, they look good. So articulation-wise, You have a ball joint here at the base of the, I guess, base of the skull, you'd say, base of the head. So you can look up about that far, look down pretty far, spin side to side, tilt a little bit side to side. You can kind of pull the arms all the way out for these. Not all of them do, though. I think Saru Brother doesn't, and Zen Kaiser Black doesn't, because they used the Zen Kaiser mold, which I think was done before they started introducing this butterfly joint system here, where it's just the peg that pegs in here, and then you can kind of move around freely in that channel to simulate a butterfly joint. But of course you have a rotation because of that as well. You have a hinge, you have a bicep swivel, you have 90 degrees in the elbow, and then you do kind of have ball joints for the hands, so you can move them around a little bit. And he does come with some alternate hands we'll get into in a moment. The sword is done in 2 pieces, so you plug the bulk of the sword here into the top, and then the rest of the hilt goes in the back of the hand. But I think that the effect works very well. You do have a waist swivel, and if you really want, you can take them apart, because this is how they come in. It's like one box is the torso, one box is the legs. You can kick pretty far forward, and you can kick decently out to the side as well. But of course, the butt flap really prevents it from kicking back pretty much at all. You do have a thigh swivel as well, which is nicely hidden. And then you have a little over 90 degrees there in the knee. And then you have a ball joint in the ankle, and then there's kind of a cutout there, so you can do some nice ankle tilt as well. So really nicely articulated figures. Stickers are a little bit much, but not too bad compared to some Rider Soto sets that I've done. And you're left with a really nice figure. I think he looks really, really good. So let's bring in the Change Hero Momotaro so you can see the difference here. And I don't remember all of the Change Heroes being so much darker. I'm wondering if the sun has made them darker on my shelf. Although this room doesn't get a lot of sun exposure. And maybe it's just because I'm used to these, because I've been, you know, putting stickers on these for the past week. But they all look so much darker, especially when we get to Kiji Brother, and you'll see what I mean. But I think they have all the same articulation points. You can't take the arms out of these, so that is an additional, the butterfly joint on the Yudo figure is an additional point of articulation. But for the most part, I think they're all pretty much the same. But you can see he doesn't have, you know, the silver bands around the wrist and the forearm. He doesn't have the white trim on the shoulders. Let's see, what else is he missing? The bands around the ankles and the knees. But he does have a decent amount of paint. Pretty much the back. Like, he doesn't have the back of the shoulders, the back of the belt, the back of the skirt, the top knot section, the back of the headband. So pretty much anything that would have been on the back, he does not have. So I think ultimately the Yudo is the better figure. I mean, once you get all the stickers on, they really do look better. And they do have slightly more articulation. You can see the difference with the Dawn Blaster as well. That's got nice molded detail, but no stickers whatsoever. And he was the only one that came with one in the Change Heroes line. So I definitely have to give it to the Yudo figure. But if you hate stickers, you know, this is still a decent alternative. But if you don't mind putting the work in, I think you're going to end up with a really nice figure with the Yudo over here. One last thing I did fail to mention. Also in the Inu Brothers set, you get additional hands for everybody. So Don Momotaro comes with 2 closed fists in his box. But then in the box with Inu Brother, he gets 2 additional sets of hands. So this is an open set of hands, and then this is an open set of hands that has a peg hole in them. And you can see you do get this fan accessory, which is actually, I think, 4 stickers, 2 on each side. And that way, if you want, you can pop the hand off. So we'll switch this out here. And then you can have him using the fan, which I think is a really nice touch. That's just a fun little accessory. So he can fan himself. And I think that's really cool. It's just a nice little accessory. Plus, you just get some additional hands. The one thing I will say, though, these do not come with bases like the Soto figures do. So I kind of miss that. I really like having, you know, they have the peg hole in the back here. So if you have some additional ones from Soto, I think they should work. I don't have any handy to try it out. Actually, maybe I do. Here, let's bring in entry form Geets to assist us. I believe these will... they're a little loose, unfortunately, actually. So, yeah, I mean, he'll stay there, but if you move it at all, he'll probably slide right off. But you could technically still use it. But I love having these bases because they give you hand storage and everything like that. I don't really have anywhere to put these extra hands, which is kind of why I'm hesitant to take them off of the sprue here, just because this is a nice, easy way to keep track of them until I need them. I do wish that the Yudo figures had bases like this because it's so nice. One, for display purposes, they don't fall over when they're pegged in, and also it gives you lots of options for storing the extra hands and other pieces. So that's one thing that I do kind of miss with Yudo that Soto does very nicely. I really wish Yudo came with stands like this, but thank you, Geets, for the assist. But I still think everything you get is really nice. I just wish they came with the stands as well. Next up, we have Oni Sister, and I have to just get this out of the way. As you can see, this is a noodle, but unfortunately, this part I did myself. What I did not do myself is this came misassembled in the box. So as you can see here, the inside of the leg is facing out, because they attached the legs incorrectly, and I was really hoping that I could separate them here at the thigh swivel, but I can't, so I tried to pull the full legs off at the hips and then switch them, and I didn't realize until it was too late that the ball joints for the hips are actually different sizes. They do this with a lot of things so that you can't misassemble things. There's only one way to assemble things, so they all look the same and are correct, but I didn't notice that at first, and when I pegged this leg onto this one, it was a very tight fit, but it did snap on there, and unfortunately this is the larger one. So what I ended up doing was accidentally making the ball joint hole too wide. So now it's too wide for the leg it's supposed to go on, and as a result, it's just a floppy mess. But I still have legs with the, outsides facing in, and as a result, the ball joints and the feet are on the wrong side. And the first thing I tried to do was just swap the feet, because wouldn't that just be easy? But again, as I mentioned before, the ball joints are different sizes, so they do that for pretty much everything, as it turns out. So if I put this on here, it would be way too tight, and if I try to put this one on this one, it would just be ridiculously loose and not stay in. So unfortunately, mine came misassembled. I'll have to just try either to get a new figure, or if I'm lucky enough, I can just get the bottom half so I can just redo this section, because unfortunately, mine's kind of a floppy mess. But again, it's a little bit their fault. It's a little bit my fault. Hopefully, that's just a random QC issue and you won't have a problem with it. But yeah, she's got the legs facing the wrong way, and as a result, can't stand well to begin with, but she really can't stand well with this gimpy leg. So that's a bit unfortunate. Now that that's out of the way, she has pretty much the same articulation as Don Momotaro, and pretty much the same stickers as well. It's all the silver bands, the trim for the skirt, the trim of the shoulders, the headband, the glasses. That's pretty much all the same stickers. Oh, also these two emblems on the chest for all of the characters. Those are stickers. Articulation-wise, really the same. She just has the skirt pieces, so these can all move out to the side so that doesn't hinder articulation. But this back one does not move, so she really can't kick back at all, which is kind of a bummer. But for the most part, like I said, if I didn't mess up the leg and if everything came perfectly assembled, she'd be great. And I'm pretty sure I can just find another one, and I'm hoping I'll be able to just pop the knees apart so I don't have to redo any stickers, because then I could just put the new hips and thigh pieces on and then peg in the legs, and then I won't have to even redo any stickers. So that's, fingers crossed, what I'm hoping to find. But then she does have her Dawn Blaster, and I didn't mention this before, but the stickers are individual. So as you can see there, the sticker has the Oni Sister gear. So they do give you 5 different stickers for that. All the rest of these are the same for every Dawn Blaster. But these stickers are 5 different ones so that you can have the right gear in there, which I thought was a really nice attention to detail. They're so small you can barely tell, but they did actually put the right corresponding gear in there. So it's still a nice figure. It's just unfortunately mine's a little messed up. And she does come with extra hands as well. She really just comes with an open set of hands So if you want to swap out one so it looks like she's using the Dawn Blaster, although I really can't get her arm over there, to be quite honest. Yeah, I guess I can. So if I wanted to switch out the hand to make it look like she's, you know, revolving the gear, you could have that pose. That's why I think they give you the open hands. But unfortunately, mine is misassembled, so getting her to stand is somewhat difficult. But let's bring in the Change Hero counterpart. And again, this is definitely kind of a paler yellow. This is a very bright yellow. My camera's probably freaking out. Yeah, I don't know what it is. The Change Hero colors are just a lot darker and I guess more vibrant. Whereas I feel like these are a little bit more subdued and probably closer to what they looked like on the show. But I could be wrong. But again, you're missing all those paint applications we talked about. The silver bands, the trim for the shoulder pads, the band around the side, the back of the belt, all the trim around the skirt. This one does move up though. So I will give Change Hero credit for that because that's not something that this one can do. And she does come with the giant club that she does not have. But if you want, you can take this and give this to her. This will fit in the hand. So you can kind of take the Change Hero and the Yudo and do kind of a best of both worlds. I've actually seen a lot of people also just buy the box with Inu Brother to get the Dawn Blasters and then sticker those up and give them to the Change Hero figures. That's also an option. I wonder if I could switch the legs. Maybe I could just use these legs. Yeah, in any case, they look very similar. I mean, they really look very similar. But once again, I think I have to ultimately give it to the Yudo figure, assuming I can get one that is assembled correctly and stands on its own free will. I just think the more subdued yellow really looks better. The bright, vibrant yellow, just a little bit too much, especially having them side by side. And, you know, all the extra details with the stickers just kind of really just win. But still, again, if you hate stickers, these are not bad options. They are decent figures. And you can see that they're pretty much the same size. They are different molding, though. I mean, you can see that the knees are definitely done differently than these are. So you can see all that. They're basically done at the kneecap, whereas, or I should say they extended the boots up to be the knees. I didn't even really notice that before. That it does kind of look weird. Because they're definitely more like this, where the boots come up to where normal boots would, and then they have knees. But here they did the boots all the way up to the knees, and that's where the bend is, which looks a little weird. I can't believe I didn't notice that before. That's kind of hilarious. So yeah, again, ultimately I have to give it to the Yudo figure, assuming I can get one that is not misassembled, but I think I can still get her to stand. Well, you know, the club is going to make it impossible. I'll have to take that out. There we go. Up next, we have Saru Brother. I think this guy came out fantastically. I just really like this design. I like having a bulkier figure. I think it looks great. Again, stickers are pretty much everywhere you would expect on the front of the belt. The glasses, the headband going all the way around, the silver bands. I believe this was painted here, just the collar on the back, and then, of course, the two emblems there on the chest. But yeah, he didn't have as many. I felt like it wasn't too bad. He even does have the red butt. That is a plastic piece. That is not a sticker. And his articulation is pretty much the same. He's got that ball joint kind of at the base of the skull, and then they do have a connection. I think this can come out. Yeah, so his is a little different. He's actually got a piece like this. And is this just a... No, this is a hinge. I was wrong. So this is a hinge, and then the ball joint is down here at the base of the neck, which is definitely different from if I bring Momotaro back in. You can take these out because these pieces will swivel, but the ball joint is there. Actually, is that... Maybe I'm completely wrong. I think I am completely... No, this is the Change Hero figure. See, I'm confusing myself. Here we go. So this is the head on a ball joint, and that does not disconnect at the base of the neck. But with Saru Brother, he just has the hinge, and then the ball joint is at the base of the neck, because he's a little bit bigger figure. Same thing with the arms. You can kind of pull them out, but you can't pull them all the way out. So it was a little difficult to do the armbands at times, and especially to do some of these other stickers in the arm area, but you can't take the arms out completely. You can kind of pull these out, and he does still have the butterfly joint, and then of course he has the hinge and the rotation, but you can't actually pull the arms out of the body. But he's got the bicep swivel, he's got the elbows, he does have the rotation. I guess it's a ball joint. Yeah, it's a little ball joint. Very tiny. And if you kind of pull them away a little bit, you can get more range of motion with the ball joint. If you have them pushed all the way in, you can get a little bit of the ball joint, but not as much. And then I think everything else, pretty much the same articulation there. But he's just a great looking figure. Like I said, I really like the bigger, bulkier figure. He's got some peg holes down here, but he does have kind of hollow feet. But just overall, looks great. Got his Dawn Blaster here with his gear, as you can see there. Looks really good. He also has a set of open hands. And then to compare him with the Change Hero figure, it looks like they did... I think this is a separate piece of plastic, this black here, for the wristband. But I also just feel like the elbow cuts on the Change Hero figure are not executed as well. I mean, maybe they're similar. No, I think they're just a little bit better on the Yudo. You don't have as much open space there, if you can see what I'm talking about there. I think they just look better. And again, it's just a darker blue. And they did the same thing where the boots go up to the knees. I can't believe I really never noticed that before. That looks so weird now, having the boots go up that high. I think this looks so much better having the boots stop where they normally would and then giving him regular knees. So yeah, I think the Yudo figure came out pretty perfect. And again, the Change Hero is not bad. He's also got really hollow feet. But this boot thing is really starting to... I can't believe I never noticed that before. It looks so weird. Yeah, I know I keep saying this, but I got to give it to the Yudo. I just think that looks better. Again, if you hate stickers, these are still great options. I keep saying that, but it is true. These are not bad figures. They're really not. I just think the Yudo are a little better made, a little better proportions, and because of the stickers, you get more detailing. But these are not a bad alternative, honestly. These are not. I'm not trying to say these are bad figures. I just think the Yudo is a little better. Next up is Kiji Brother, and I definitely had to adjust the camera because this is a tall boy. This is a very tall boy. But he looks good. I think he came out great. All the same stickers you would expect at this point, but he's super tall and lanky. Really nice range of motion in the hips. Kick pretty far back. He's got the knees, like so. He's got the ball joint down here in the ankle. Really nice giant feet, which I think look good. They came out pretty good. I will say I had some difficulty with the bands around his arms, and I don't know if it's because they're so thin, but I couldn't really get them to stay in place and stick. But they finally worked out. And then he's got his Dawn Blaster there with his Kiji Brother Avataro gear. And then he has these wings. So these are kind of like the folded up wings. I like the look of this a lot. I like the little folded up wings. They do give you some other wings. So we do have these larger wings. And basically, I'm just going to do it the simple way. You can take this piece completely off. So if you like the look of him without any wings, you can certainly achieve that. But then these can actually move in and out, which I think is pretty cool. So if you wanted to make it look like they're flapping, you could definitely do that. And then you can just go ahead and unpeg these. These will just slide right off pretty simply. So we will go ahead and do that. And then we will peg in the new wings. Just like so. And then you can just peg this piece back into the back here. Like so. And there you go. Now you've got the full wings and you've got a pretty decent range of motion there. You can move these up and down. You can also bring them in and out, so if you kind of like a little bit more swept back, or if you want them a little bit forward, you've got some options there. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same articulation. He does have the butterfly joint. You can pull the arms all the way out if you wish. Now, his head has the ball joint, just like Don Momotaro. So no issues there. Yeah, I mean, pretty much what you'd expect. Nothing super new there. But he looks good. I just think they did a really nice job with this. He, again, does have the open set of hands as well, just to point that out. And now, the Change Hero figure. So this is the one that I noticed right away how dark magenta this is. And again, I don't know if my figures have yellowed. It's possible. But I just did not realize how dark these were. This is a really deep, like, magenta pink. And I think this is definitely closer to the show over here. I know a lot of people were having trouble with these wings being fragile. And I think that's something you don't really have to worry about as much with the Yudo, because that piece can come off and then you can kind of handle them very simply. These, when you're trying to remove these ball joints here, the piece that's actually connected to the back is very prone to snapping off, which is a bummer. But that you can just unpeg it and then, you know, unpeg, repeg, whatever you need to do. That's not an option here. So that's definitely something to be wary of. Also, I just think this is smaller. I mean, I feel like the torso is thinner and smaller. The waist is definitely smaller. He's got these gigantic, like, kneecap, backwards kneecap things, the hinge at the knee, which you don't really have as much here. I mean, a little bit, but not nearly as much, because I don't think he's as lanky. And the feet are definitely bigger. And then, of course, you have all the extra detail from the stickers. But I definitely have to give this one to the Yudo. I just think the proportions are so much better over here. Even if you don't, like, obviously more stickers is going to mean more detail, so I'll stop saying that. But if you take that out of the equation, I think the wings are definitely easier to handle on the Yudo. The fact that you have the, like, folded down option is really nice that you didn't get over here. And I just like this lighter shade of pink. I think the bigger feet look better as well. Just a lot of things going on over here that I like a lot better than the Change Hero. Just the proportions I feel like are so much better over here. So again, I mean, Change Hero really hasn't won out so far, but I just think everything about this one is so much better. And last, but certainly not least, for the main five, we have Inu Brother. This one came out great. I think they did a really nice job here. The comically large head looks fantastic. This is on giant ball joints, so you can kind of look back, look forward, side to side, tilt side to side, no problem whatsoever there. Now, the way this guy works, the arms are kind of one solid piece. So this actually is on a ball joint here. And the shoulder pad, the arm, that's all one solid piece. You do have an elbow joint. And then the hands are these giant pieces that you actually unpeg. And you can switch them out. He comes with an open set of hands and a closed set of hands, closed fist set of hands. And then the stickers actually go on the hands, not the arm. So because his proportions are kind of weird. But you do get elbows, which is really nice. You get these ball joints. Some of his stickers were definitely difficult to apply. This white one going around the back of his skirt, I'm still not convinced is actually in place. That was moving around for me all the time, which was kind of a pain. Putting the stickers on the giant head was very easy. The inside of the ears are actually painted, which is nice. All of the silver is basically painted, but the glasses, the headband, that was all stickers, but they went on pretty easily. The silver bands weren't too bad. So the way this worked, let me see if I can take the head off without too much issue. There we go. So if you would cut this in half, you can kind of see where the seam is. That white piece all the way here, all the way down, and then the chest logo, that's all one sticker. So there's one of those per side. One whole sticker just goes over the shoulder. That wasn't trim. That's actually just one whole sticker, so that was a lot easier. Super tiny sticker here for the belt. But the most difficult sticker was this white trim here. It goes down, and then it loops around, and that's just a very, very thin white sticker. I kind of wish they handled it like the shoulders, where it was just one big thing that stuck around. Now, the other thing is, because he is black, you don't really have a lot of, like, space to fill in or worry about parts being cast out of black plastic and then having different colored stickers over top of the black plastic like we saw with the rest of the team. So you could just use like a white paint marker and just do the trim yourself if you wanted to. You don't even have to mess with these stickers. You could just do some white trim with paint and you wouldn't have to worry about like the colors not matching, really, if that makes sense. With everybody else, they have like black plastic and then you have to put a white and red sticker over top of it. You wouldn't have to worry about that here because, you know, he's the same color as the rest of the body, so it's all just one color there, if that makes sense. You do have a knee joint, which is very nice, and then you also have an ankle tilt, even though it doesn't really do much, I'll be honest. It's more of a swivel than a tilt. It does kind of tilt a little bit side to side, but it's a very awkward joint to try to get movement out of it. I know that sounds weird. Spinning side to side is no problem, but trying to get it to tilt is very strange. But you have knees, which is really nice. And this is a very kind of minor ball joint. Basically, the ball joint just pegs straight into the bottom of the waist. So you just have a ball joint like that. Then you have the knee bend, and then you have the kind of minuscule ball joint in the ankle. So he's definitely got more articulation than his Change Hero counterpart. Which, speaking of, I will bring in. So he has the giant star, which again, if you wanted him to hold that, you could. I believe you could. Let me double check. So far, everyone's been able to use... Yeah, so if you want him to hold that, you absolutely can. Fits in very much no problem. But I'll give him the gun back. So this guy had no elbows, no knees, no ball joints. Oh, I'm lying. He did have. But these were very strange. Like the angle that these had, it was kind of difficult to get him to stand. Because it's kind of like he's wearing like high heels. But elbows and knees are definitely something that were not present on the Change Hero. I would say the two heads look pretty similar. But again, I just feel like the proportions are a little better over here. Because he needs those knees and elbow joints, because otherwise it's just everything's very straight and he's seeming even lankier than usual, especially with the way it's like the lanky arm, the giant cuff here for the glove, but then you have additional space because you can't peg that hand all the way in. Whereas here the hand and the cuff are one piece, and then, you know, the arm just pegs right into it, and so it just all flows a lot better. And I just feel like he looks ridiculously lanky here and really suffers from the lack of elbows and knees. But again, I understand why they couldn't really do it here. But it's just something they did so much better over here. But I think the heads look equally as good. Maybe his is a little bit better proportioned. But he just seems so more dynamic by having all that extra articulation, whereas he seems very rigid. I just think this is such a better figure. So, if you're keeping score at home, that's 5 out of 5 for the Yudo. Last but certainly not least, we have Zen Kaiser Black. He looks pretty good. I would say most of this is stickers. I think just this silver on the front here is paint. And I think these little black inner thighs are paint. And I think the inside of his cape is paint. Everything else is stickers. But it worked out really well. He looks good. You even have some silver stickers here for the back of the shoulder pads. Little hollow on the back, but really not too bad. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, hey, this figure looks familiar, you would be absolutely correct. Because it is the exact same figure as the Yudo Zen Kaiser. So I don't have the Change Hero for Zen Kaiser Black. I didn't bother with it because I already had this and I knew this was coming in this set. This is the same figure. Like, there's no way it's not. And it's fine because this was perfectly good. It's just, you know, in a new color scheme. So here is regular Zen Kaiser. Here is Zen Kaiser Black. It's the exact same Yudo figure, just done in a different color scheme, which is 90% just including different colored stickers in the box. I mean, like I said, the only thing that's different is the thigh paint, the inside of the cape, and the gold along the front is now become silver. Actually, I guess the antenna here, the crest on the front, that's paint. But that's the same, so it's the exact same head. And they just had to paint this crest along the front of the chest and the shoulders a different color and paint the thighs and inside of the cape a different color. And we're using the exact same mold again. Now, he comes with a ton of hand accessories. So, in the box, he comes with these, like, very closed hands. You can see he's got one here. I just have it here on his belt. But he's also got a closed set of fists. So, I've got him holding the Geertlinger in one. The other one is here. Then he's got, like, a stop hand, which is kind of fun. So we'll take this one out and try this one. So he can do kind of like a, you know, commanding villains to stop. I kind of like that. He's got a pointing finger, you know, so he can tell you to count up your sins. And then he's got some like really open splayed finger hands. And then he's got kind of a just normal, I guess this is the one I just took out, right? This is the, I don't really know what this is, almost like a karate chop hand. I'm not really sure. But I really like the stop hand, and I really like the pointing finger hand. And then I guess this is just so if you want to make it look like he's getting ready to turn the Geertlinger, you've got that set as well. So he's got a lot of great hand accessories. But again, I believe they're the exact same ones that came with this one. But yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's basically where we're at. This was a really great figure. It's the same figure, just with different colored stickers and slightly different paint. But it's good. It was good the first time. It's good now. I think this is a really fantastic set. And even if you already have the Change Hero figures, I still recommend picking these up. I just think they did a really nice job. Yes, the stickers are a lot of work. I will admit that right up front. If you guys know me at all, I hate doing stickers on these. It's just so much. But the main four weren't too bad. I would say the box with Inu Brother and Zen Kaiser Black were the two with the most stickers. And even Zen Kaiser Black wasn't too bad. And it's a lot of stickers, I will say that. But if you have the patience and you have the time, you really are left with some beautiful figures when you're done. I think the colors on these came out much better. I don't know if sun damage made my Change Hero figures so much darker, or if they really just always were that dark and I never noticed it because I had nothing to compare them to. But the colors with these, I think, are much closer to the show than the Change Hero figures. And I think Kiji Brother and Inu Brother are just the two that are the most different from the Change Hero counterparts, and they're much better. I mean, especially with Inu Brother, he's got elbow joints, he's got knee joints. I just think the proportions are so much better. He's just a much better figure than the Change Hero version of Inu Brother. And even Kiji Brother, I think he just looks better. His proportions are a little better. You have the options of the kind of folded up wings or the fully splayed out wings. Both look great. They're easy to interchange. There have been so many people I've seen online have had problems with the Change Hero Kiji Brother, with the wings breaking off, and it's something I really don't think you have to worry about here. You have enough Dawn Blasters to go around, which is something the Change Hero figures did not have, not to mention additional accessories like the fan and the Zanglass sword. So there's just a lot with this set, and like I said, yes, there is a decent amount of work with the stickers, but you really get a beautiful set when you're done. Now, unfortunately, like I did mention, my Oni Sister did come misassembled. Hopefully that's just a random QC issue for me and not something that all of you will encounter. I just have to try to find another one. But once I do, this set will be pretty much perfect. And I really, really, really like them a lot. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.